All I'm saying is that we as African people, we cannot be doing everything. We cannot be doing everything. We can't do everything with everyone. We are spiritual people. We are spiritual people. What's up, Black family? Let's get into the spirit. Peace, love, and respect. That's why I always say peace, love, and respect, because as a people, that's basically what we go off of anyways. You know what I'm saying? In fact, I just seen, like I said, I'm here in Miami Beach. And so where I'm at, I'm like in the North Miami Beach area. So it's mainly a lot of Cubans and Dominicans and stuff. So it's not a lot of African Americans over here, or American Africans. So me and a lady just ran into to each other, and when we met, she was like, "Peace, sister." I was like, "Peace." I was trying to see if you was Cuban, or you know what I'm saying. Um, but I'm for all uh, I'm for all Black people. If you have respect and you respect Black people all across the globe. Somebody asked me if I was an immigrant. Really, nigga? I ain't no immigrant. I was born and raised here in the United States. I was born at Martin Luther King Hospital in Los Angeles, California. I was born and raised here. So, if that answers your question. Another thing for the Black men, I have so much respect and love for you. But quit putting in the comments that, oh, you should be my wife and you should look. Let me tell you something. If someone is for you, they will be around you. If someone is for you, you will be led to them. Stop being so disrespectful to Black women that speak the truth for their people. You guys don't have to do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? If they gonna segregate us, y'all gotta have respect for us. You know what I'm saying? Cause y'all coming in at the lowest level now. Don't think you coming in at the highest level like you was before. You coming in at the lowest level. And this is why I want to talk about spirituality, because we got so much religiosity, but we don't have the spirit. A lot of y'all operate from your penis, but not your pineal gland. A lot of the Black women, y'all operate from your coochie, but not your consciousness. It's time to stop all of that. What are you teaching the babies? Can't be teaching Black children that. It's time for y'all to start getting in tune with who you are as a people. We're a very spiritual people. We're a holy people. We're a holy nation. We're not supposed to be running around passively having sexual intercourse with people. And y'all today, y'all really done lost your minds. One thing you doing that with multiple Black people. Y'all doing it with this nation and that nation and this nation. You're not supposed to be doing that. You're not supposed to be doing that at all. And it's crazy because even in Africa with certain tribes, they understood this. We don't understand. We operate out of the spirit. When you look at our melanin, this is 666. 6 electrons, 6 protons, and 6 neutrons. They say melanin is the most dangerous. It's the most dangerous science here. Let's put it that way. You know what I'm saying? Because when you think about the things that we could do as a people, look at how we can jump really high. Look how fast we can run. We're the main people that say, I can feel something, I can see something. When I'm around Black people are the main people that say that. I can feel something, I can see something. Oh, I knew this. We damn near, we got psychic abilities. There's times I can see things way before it even happened. Or I experience a lot of deja vu. Because That's who we are as a people. But because we're indoctrinated with religiosity instead of spirituality, we've been taken from everything that we believe. Some of us are slowly coming back into our African spirituality, understanding the ancestors and understanding how divinity works. And it's interesting. I was just explaining to someone right now, I said, look, this is interesting that we say don't worship the dead, but we worship Jesus. Jesus has been dead for thousands and thousands of years. So if Jesus has been dead for thousands and thousands of years and we close out our prayer in the name of Jesus, he's an ancestor. He's not here. None of us have met him. None of our grandparents or our great-grandparents or our great-great-grandparents have met him. He's been dead for thousands and thousands of years. So he's an ancestor. So, and that's part of African spirituality, is also believing that you can get that divinity from your ancestors. Your ancestors become your spiritual guides, and they do guide you. Let me ask you a question, Black family. Do y'all remember when y'all was kids and y'all used to hear that ding? Used to hear that noise, right? And we're very very binaural people. Like any sounds and stuff, we operate off of sounds. You know what I'm saying? Especially any type of musical sounds, any spiritual sounds, we operate off of that. And so our ancestors know how to speak through us through sounds, through buzzing in the ear, through beeping, sometimes even calling our name within a chant. There would be times I'll hear Tina, or I'll hear, my middle name, Sean. And I'm like, oh. So I'll tell you something, Black family. If you ever experience that, there would be times out of nowhere. I wouldn't be able to sleep good at night, even as a kid, right? And my ancestors would keep me up. But at this time, I didn't know about spirituality. I just, we just had religion. We just had Christianity at the time. But no matter what, I still operated like that. I still operated out of the spiritual. And so when I would get up after I hear this ding, and I'm like, what in the world? And I don't know, I just, at this time, subconsciously, I get up and the stove was on, right? And as the stove was on, it was, we had a bread container, but we had one in the container, and how kids are, we got to have 2 and more out. But so somebody left one of the breads out, and I guess when they thought they turned off the stove, it was on low. And so the bread, the plastic from what the bread be in, it was literally that close. Meaning, if I didn't listen to my ancestors, that damn near the house would have burnt up. And when I told my aunt, I said, you don't even understand that I was a protector for the house. She said, yes, I do. She said, because when you left, it was like a whole chunk of the house left. I'm trying to tell you who you are, Black family. When I left, she said it was like a whole part of the house just left. Because I remember one time I would sleep and I would hear ding, ding, ding. And I'm like, what's that noise? I said, let me go downstairs. My ancestors lead me downstairs, right? We had one of them pendulum clocks, like most people say cuckoo clocks, right? We had one of those with the pendulum, and it was leaning because my little brother, he jumped in it. He was a baby at the time. He jumped in it and broke it, so it would lean time to time. But this time, this was leaning. As it was leaning up against the lamp. My aunt had this lamp. So if it would have fell over, it was kind of pushing her lamp. She had this black Mary had a little lamb lamp that she had since the 70s, and this was 2005. I was only 10 years old, and it was like pushing it. And so when my ancestors let me know the little dink, 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 they were letting me know, like, if you don't get down there, this whole thing is gonna break. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, that's crazy. I was like, that's so crazy. But let me know if you guys have had those experiences as well. I have had many experiences. I've had oh man, I could tell you this time I moved from, me and my family, we moved from Los Angeles. And if y'all familiar with the high desert area, like I said in the other video, that even though I was born in LA, I was raised in LA up until like 5. And then we moved to the high desert area. My aunt wanted to get us away from like any violence or anything like that. So we moved to Victorville. But before we moved to Victorville, we were in an area in Victorville, and then we moved to Palmdale first. So I was like 5, and I was asking my nephew. I got a nephew that's older than me. He was born in the 80s, and I said, "When are we going back home? I don't like it here in the desert." Right? I was really upset, unhappy. Right? So I'm sitting down, and I had this big teddy bear, big white teddy bear, and it had a heart, and I think it was like for Valentine's Day or something like that. It's been a busy Tuesday. All right, so let me get back into it. So I have this big white teddy bear, and it had a like a heart. It was almost like kind of like a Valentine's Day thing, right? And so I was playing in the room and stuff, but I'm still feeling sad. Black family, when I tell you, this bear said my name, and I was like, yeah, it was like Tina, and I was like, yeah, and I seen it move, and it said, give me a hug, and I gave it a hug. It gave me a hug, and I was like, and I never, this is literally the first time I'm telling this. I don't know if I told this to my aunt or even one of my siblings, but publicly speaking, the teddy bear hugged me, Black family. And I truly believe it was one of my ancestors that was comforting me, because there will be many times, and these are the things that we're taught not to believe in, because of Western and society and European society. Because if you know about hoodoo or voodoo or vodou, you will know that a lot of our ancestors beat white supremacy with these entities and these deities, and with these spirits. You know what I'm saying? So because they were able to beat them with this divinity, what white people have said, they said, look, if we don't take hoodoo out of Christianity, they will always be able to beat us. They will always have a mentality of we don't trust you. Black people knew back then that there's no way in the game we as African people could be worshiping the same as European people. There's no such thing. And remind you, how do you say, okay, Christ was born in Africa, his hair is like wool and his skin is like burnt brass, but then you depict him as a white man for over 400 years? And the saddest thing about that, Black family, a lot of y'all have believed it. Interesting thing, I never believed it. Who else is a critical thinker? Who else is a critical thinker in the Black kingdom? When I say I never ever believed that Christ was white, and here's why. 1, he was born in Africa. 2, his hair is like wool. 3, his skin is like burnt brass. But let me get to 4 and 5. They whipped him and hung him for saving people. When have you ever known, Black family, when have you ever known them to whip and beat a white man for saving people. They didn't do it to Spider-Man. They didn't do it to Christopher Reeves. They didn't do it to Batman. And Batman is a vigilante. He has no superpowers whatsoever. But he works with the cops all day because they know he's white. And they know he's rich, riding around in this custom-made Batmobile. Come on now. When have you ever seen them whip and beat a white man for saving people? Never. I knew it right then and there, way before I read Revelations 1:14 through 15. I'm trying to let you know, we got a lot of religiosity, but we do not have any spirituality. This is also the reason why we are depressed as a people. We have a lot of anxiety. We have a lot of psychological issues. Black family, you got to kill the cracker within the Negro. You got to kill the cracker within the Negro. You got to. You cannot walk around looking like your ancestors, talking like your ancestors, but you think like your oppressors. You just cannot. You cannot operate like that. Let's get into sleeping with people. You cannot sleep with everybody. You can't sleep with everybody. When I see casual sexual intercourse going on in the Black community, I say, oh no, you cannot do that. You just cannot. You cannot be out here thinking that you are just anybody. You're not. I gotta watch my back because I'm not just anybody. You know, because that's true. As Black people, we're not just anybody. We have 9 ether to us. We have 9 ether. That's why our hair is very woolly. That's why our skin, this is melanin. They said it's the most dangerous thing on planet Earth. And we're born with it. We didn't sit out in the sun to get this. We didn't, you know what I'm saying? No white person can sit out in the sun and get dark skin. They can get a tan, which causes them to get cancer, which causes them to get sun poisoning. Black people don't get sun poisoning, and it's very rare that you have Black people that get skin cancer because we have melanin. And when we go out in the sun, our melanin actually gets darker to protect us. When we go out in the sun, our hair actually coils to protect our skull. Why do you think they have hats? Hats wasn't invented for us, nor was hoodies. Hats and hoodies were invented for white people to protect them from the sun. We don't need no protection from the sun. There's times where we don't need sunscreen. There is times where we don't need sunscreen. And I've used sunscreen. I use the melanin sunscreen and stuff, because you can actually put oil on your body, or we could put it's the zinc protection that I use for my body to keep my skin, but majority of the time I be out in the sun. If I know I'm going to be having more exposure than usual, then yes, I put something to protect it, but we don't need to have sunscreen. And if you go and look at what the sunscreen is supposed to be, the sunscreen is supposed to be an imitation of melanin. They hate you so much, but they need to imitate you to survive. This is the reason why they have tricked your mind to thinking that sleeping with them is just so casual. We're all the same. Genetically, you are not the same. Spiritually, you are not the same. Biologically, you are not the same. You are not the same as your oppressors. You're not. They told you that you were inferior, that they are superior, and they can't even outrun you. They can't even outjump you. They can't even outswim. And then if you see the little Black baby, they can't outcrawl us. Black babies walk earlier. They're able to hold their head up. Our bones are stronger. Our teeth are stronger. Our hair is kinkier. Our melanin is protection. That does not, they have to get their face lasered. They get sun poisoning. They get skin cancer. They burn in the sun. So how's that the superior race? What superior race can't go in the sun? You got white people, black family that are allergic to the sun. I've never heard a black person say they're allergic to the sun. I met white people that say, I can't go in the sun, I'm allergic to the sun. How are you the superior race and you can't even go out in the sun? In something that is natural. Yeah, that's natural and nature. I make up my own words here. You can't even go out in nature. You can't even do anything natural. Black family, we are interconnected beings that have a divine oneness with our ancestors. And the reason why we don't know this, think about it like this. There is times where you be like, I don't know why I felt like I did this before. Like a part of me, for some reason I don't want to be in the ocean. Oh, I'll get in some water with no doubt. But a part of me don't want to be in the ocean because I'm like, why does it feel like I've been in the ocean? Like I feel like I've been to the deep parts of the ocean already. There's certain things that I don't be wanting to do because I'm like, nah, I feel like I've done that already. You know what I'm saying? One of my good friends, he said, Tina, white people not afraid to do anything. You know, it's us that's afraid. I said, we're not afraid. Half of us probably already did it before. As African people, we are the oldest nation here. We've already been here for 100,000s of years. We was the first created. So we done already explored the earth already. That's why half of us feel like, I don't know. Like, I don't really feel the need to do that. You got to remember, white people are a new nation. They are a new nation. So they're just now exploring everything. We as black people, we are the oldest nation. We've already done everything. That's why a lot of times there are things that we know and we don't have to read it. There are things that we know and we don't have to see it. There's things that we know how to do and we don't have to be taught it. When I played golf, I was only like 4 or 5 months in and I was beating white men that had been playing it since they were 7. And they said, when did you start again? I said, I'm 4 months in. Probably was a golfer back in the day. You know, who knows? But because we are without the spirit, we don't truly know who we are as a people. This is the reason why I'm dedicated to doing the work that I do. Because I'll be damned if we keep going years and years and years and not knowing who we are. Here we are, we'll say, oh, we can outrun anybody, we can outdance anyone, we can outsing anyone, we can outdress anyone. But if we could do all of these things, why are we still operating on the lowest chakra? Why are we still operating on the lowest vibration? Why are we still operating as oppressed? This is something that definitely needs to change in the black community, because if it don't change, once the nation, they say about time 2050 get here, it's going to be less than 7% white people. By the time 2050, it's going to be less than 7% of white people, meaning that even once your white oppressors are gone, you will let an Asian oppressor come in or a Hispanic oppressor come in. We're not having that. We're not doing that. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. Because I don't let white people oppress me. And I'd be damned if I let motherfuckers that don't even speak good English oppress me. I don't think so. You are not oppressed. You are the oldest and boldest and greatest nation here. And it's time for you to wake up. And when I preach, I ain't preaching nothing about no hate. We don't hate anybody. We are the most acceptant race. Why? Because we are a spiritual people. We believe that everyone is one. But when does everybody want to be one with us? Don't tell me, oh, in the bedroom, I became one with this Chinese or with this Caucasian. Stop. Having sex with you don't go against them. In fact, if they know that they can have sex with your African body, they know that you are psychologically oppressed, that they can physically depress you. You got to understand, sleeping with them, this is the reason why a lot of black people have become depressed. I'm telling you, you cannot introduce everything to the African body. You got to kill the cracker within the African body, I'm telling you. Because that's the way we're going to survive. Once you start psychologically, then you start emotionally. Once you start emotionally, you start mentally. Because psyche, mentally, emotionally, you feel me? Physically. See, there's